Matt Walsh is without a doubt one of the most evil conservative pundits to ever live. He is on a 38-year-long evil streak. I don't think there's been a single day where that motherfucker has not made it his top priority to ruin the lives and the prospects of groups that he does not consider worthy of human respect, decency, and rights. He's genuinely just famous for the fact that he is good at triggering libs and doing a really smug, and wrong vibed smile as he does so. That just kind of triggers the libs even harder. We've talked a lot lately about how many of these conservative pundits got famous, not because they have anything valuable to say, but because they're really effective at triggering the libs. And that's where I think a lot of the vibes, a lot of the support needs to go for progressive creators, is those that trigger the right-wingers. Those that, like, say and do things that just make right-wingers lose control of their patience and their like better judgment. Zan, more followers than Matt Walsh win. We are 1/300th of the way there. Once I get like 3,000 more subs. How many subs are we at right now? Let me check how many subs we're at. We are 10 subs away from being at 97,200 subs. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's raw as fuck. But yeah, we're a bit away from being 1/300th of the way to Matt Walsh's sub count. Actually, no, he's at 3.1 million, so I'm 3 million subs away roughly from reaching Matt Walsh's size. It kind of gives you an idea of how disproportionate the support for the left and right is online. Which really, you know, the salt to rub into that wound is the fact that Matt Walsh is making content for his 3 million subscribers, such as girl math has officially made its way into the government. I have no idea what this means. I don't know what girl math is. My assumption would be, like, it's math that's wrong, or math about women by women. Maybe it's math that they don't agree with. Like, maybe it's statistics they don't agree with, that don't, like, agree with them, I should say, that they call girl math. I have no idea what it means. Let's check it out.
A while ago,
girl math has officially made its way into the government. I love how he's making this video when does he realize who controls the government starting on January 20th? Like, you can complain about the Biden admin for the next few months if you want to, but you're just kind of clawing up a nothing tree at this point. Like, you need to start getting ready to defend the backlash from Trump's presidency. You got to start guarding that man's nutsack like crazy.
A while ago on the show, we discovered the concept of girl math.
I am excited to find out what the fuck girl math is. I saw girl math at Coachella. They were pretty good. Is it a band? Maybe it's a band. I don't know.
Those who need a refresher course on this academic subject, girl math describes the sorts of mental calculations that women make when they're out shopping. Girl math is less math and more magical thinking. So, for example...
Okay. Is he aware of the fact that men are massively underperforming in STEM fields right now, particularly in math when it comes to school? And girls have been for like decades now, massively overperforming in academic studies, especially math, geometry, engineering, etc., than boys have? Like, it's like a thing that academics and scientists and sociologists are genuinely concerned about, is that, like, young boys are not taking to math as effectively as young girls do. Like, I'm pretty sure women have a reputation for being objectively better at math, like the average, something that's just true across the board, is that the average woman is smarter and more educated than the average man. And so I don't know what he's trying to get at here. Is this some sort of, like, women are dumb, women be shopping type shit? What is this? Because if we're talking about statistics and school performance, women are just better at math than men are, like, statistically.
Example, according to girl math, if a woman buys some totally unnecessary item for $63, well, she just lost $63. However, if that same exact item is $63, but it was originally $90, then instead of losing $63, she has just made $27.
Okay, this is incel logic. This is just an incel meme. So for those who don't know, there's been like a trend of incel memes coming out lately about how girls are so stupid and incapable of handling money that they'll see a fake discount and immediately buy something. This is literally nothing to do with women. This is basic marketing. People, and like a lot of companies do this, like Amazon does it as well. Will they just always have something as a discount? Like that's just, it's basic marketing. What? Also, if something's actually on sale, then yes, you did. If you were going to buy a thing, I like how he specifies something pointless. What does he think is pointless for a woman to buy? Like lingerie, clothes, shoes, makeup? Because I can assure you, the vast majority of men, as much as they love to give women shit for shopping, because women be shopping, all the shit that they tend to shop for is to make themselves look a way that men like. Most women dress to look good for other women, generally, but let's be real, men are appreciating it too most of the time. So, like, do you expect women to just not buy clothes? Like, what purchases are pointless that he's describing here? Like, what pointless purchase is it? Also, is it a pointless purchase if a man does it? Like, I can't imagine that he would call a man buying a flat screen to watch, like, Saturday Night Football with his friends a pointless purchase, but I feel like this dude would call a woman buying the lingerie that she wanted a pointless purchase, even though, like, she's doing it to, attract her husband. You know that's how he thinks. You know that's how he thinks.
That 30% discount immediately becomes profit for the female customer. Now, a man might point out that even if the item was on sale,
oh my god, this is actually full-on incel, gender, like, absolutionist bullshit. That's insane. I'm not much of a gender essentialist besides, like, people thought I had a gender essentialist take recently. I showed that video of, like, the little boy getting rejected by the little girl and having, like, a tantrum over it. And people thought that I was suggesting boys are uniquely, like, inherently evil compared to girls. And that's not necessarily my point. My point is that everybody, when they're a child, their instinct is to throw a tantrum when they don't get what they want. Good parents effectively parent that out of their kids, but it has to be taught in different ways. Girls are typically socialized at a pretty young age, and there are other social factors that contribute to this being less of a problem too, but they tend to be less like the party involved in a rejection or a breakup that ends up getting super salty, obsessive, and like stalkery. It tends to be guys that do that. And I think the reason why it's typically guys is because guys are not socialized into understanding that rejection is not an attack on them that they should feel is like a personal grievance or gripe, that they should just accept it, take it on the nose or take it on the chin and move on. And instead they end up having a tantrum over it. Look at like the amount of #nice guys that have a meltdown when they're nice to a girl and they don't get fucked for it, right? A lot of guys from a young age have never been taught away from that behavior, and I've specifically said, you should have rephrased it this last time, TBH. Maybe that's what I should have done, but regardless, my point being that, like, these behaviors are inherent to everybody when they're a little kid and they don't get what they want, and I don't feel like enough young boys are taught when they start displaying these, like, hyper entitled behaviors around women, even at a young age, when they're not, like, taught that that's wrong. It ends up sticking with them late into life.
well, she still spent money.
Like Matt Walsh, for example. It's cute if it's like a little 6-year-old, like, getting upset and saying, "You're mean," when he gets rejected. It's like, oh, it's adorable. It's an adorable little video. But it stops being adorable when that little boy grows up into a Matt Walsh, right? Like, I feel like this, like, gender essentialist shit is so cancer.
Money she didn't need to spend on an item that she didn't need to buy. The 30% discount doesn't change the fact that she's out the $63. In fact, a man might also argue discounts are usually fake anyway. So most of the time, the alleged discounted price is just the price. If the item on the shelf is...
Well, discounts are not always fake. For example, if you actually price monitor a thing that you want, like let's say a girl wants to get, let's say, a PlayStation, you know, and waits until Cyber Monday when PlayStations are discounted and are cheaper to buy to get it. Is it girl math to consider the saved money on the discounted PlayStation you would have gotten regardless? I think what Matt Walsh is trying to suggest here is that the correct answer would be to not buy any of these things, which is hilarious because, like, dude, you're a capitalist. What do you mean? Like, don't buy things? Don't, like, you're literally criticizing marketing strategies that are inherent to capitalism right now, convincing people that if they don't buy something now, and this is not a woman thing, but just people in general, if they don't buy now while something is discounted, then when they buy it later, they'll have to pay more. It's not girl math, it's psychological manipulation that companies do on all consumers.
Is $14.99, but the store claimed the regular sale price is $23.99. The alleged regular sale price is almost always imaginary. Like, they've never actually sold the item for $23.99. The price is always just $14.99. The sale is a marketing ploy. Now, this is what men so often try to explain, but
this 100% has to be him being mad at his wife for some kind of purchase. Yeah. I don't know. Apparently it's going off of some kind of story. Here, I'm going to speed this up because Matt Walsh talks really slow.
it's to no avail. That's how a woman can go out and buy a car full of junk that she doesn't need and still feel like she has somehow saved hundreds of dollars.
This is literally just like incel fuel. Like, women be shopping, am I right? Like, no, they're not. Women are actually not shopping much. Believe it or not, the economy is fucked. And for the most part, the vast majority of women out there are not, like, who is the market for this content? All right, I assume it's just a bunch of boomers complaining about their wives in the comments. I went to Barnes & Noble's and I asked the lady at the counter if they had the new Trump book about deporting migrants. She looked at me and said, "Get the hell out of here and don't come back." And then I said, "Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Do you have it in paperback?" And she had the nerve to say, "You heard that correctly, like it's an infomercial. These people are soulless." Hochul started the $15 toll. Now she drops it to $9 and claims she did a good thing. These people are complete clowns. Girl math. Buys $30 item, returns it for store credit, just made $30. Thank you, Kathy, for... If you buy a $30 product, use it for what you need from it, and then return it to the store and get your credit for it, you can use that credit to buy another thing from the store. So you've gotten the thing that you needed from that This is just men literally not thinking on the same level as women. I saw there's a joke that actually stuck with me in the She-Hulk show. I watched the first few episodes of it, but I kind of fell off of it. But there was one joke that stuck with me, which is when Bruce Banner and his cousin She-Hulk are in the car, and she's using chopsticks to eat her Cheetos out of the bag. And Bruce Banner's like, "Why are you doing that? Like, what? Why? Like, why? I see a lot of women like eating things with chopsticks. Why are you doing it?" She's like, "So I don't get the grease and the crumbs on my fingers, and so I can like touch my phone and do stuff with my hands and not have to like clean them off or deal with it under my nails or anything." And he's like, "Huh, that's really smart." I feel like so many dudes will see women think things through and do something that doesn't immediately occur to them, call it stupid, write it off, and refuse to think about it for more than a second and just like chalk it up to women being like dumb. When what that guy just described was, let's say, what's an example of this? Let's say, for example, your power goes out and you need a generator. You go to the store, you buy a generator, you use it for a few days while your power is out, your power comes back, you return it to the store, and you get however much you paid for the generator in store credit. Now you can use that store credit to buy groceries or things you already needed around the house. So that money, that, say, whatever amount of money you spent on a generator, ends up doubling as money you spent on a thing that you needed or wanted, and you can spend it on something else. So the example the guy that complained in the comments listed is literally just him not understanding like more than 4 or 3 levels of planning. So in other words, just envy of women thinking rationally and logically and having common sense. Yeah.
As long as she buys stuff on sale, she isn't actually spending any money in her mind. She's making money. So girl math taken to its logical end would mean that if you have $0 in your bank account, you could still buy an infinite amount of merchandise on sale because you're making money. You're not spending it.
Women totally believe this, guys, because women like don't understand math, I guess. Who fucking believes this shit? Incels. This is incel bait content.
If you make $14 an hour working retail, there's no reason why you can't buy a Lamborghini for $250,000 if the normal sale price is $300,000, because then they're paying you $50,000 to take the car. $50,000 in a new car, that's a hell of a deal. And that's kind of how girl math works. Now, here's the question. What happens when girls run the government?
So basically... The fact he says girls is amazing, because this is straight up. He is he is speaking to middle schoolers right now. This is a video made by a 38-year-old for middle schoolers. That is crazy. This 38-year-old refers to women as girls running the government. That's fucking wild.
Well, it turns out that we get a government operating on the principles of girl math. And that brings us finally to Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York. She just held a press conference where she made an exciting announcement. Kathy informed the people of New York that she had just saved them $1,500 a year. Now, it's not often that a Democrat politician saves taxpayers' money, so this was well.
This is their running talking point, by the way, guys. All your taxes are wasted on any list of things they complain about them being wasted on. You should always be in favor of tax cuts, which the Republicans run on, because the Dems just waste all your tax dollars. That is fundamentally the type of rhetoric that gets these Republicans continuously elected, is the lie that the Dems don't keep their promises and they waste tax dollars, and that the Republicans promise you less taxes. And then they don't actually deliver less taxes. They actually tax middle-class people more and lower taxes immensely on the ultra-rich. That's actually a big reason why Trump had so much financial support for this election, was that the billionaire class that Trump had written multiple tax cuts for in his previous presidency, those tax cuts were about to expire. And so a lot of billionaires had a very strong interest in getting Trump reelected, like now, because if they didn't, then they were going to end up having a pretty substantial hike to their taxes as billionaires, and Trump has promised to keep rich people taxes very low. And in turn, the middle class will end up getting taxed more. That's what Trump did during his first term. Middle class ended up getting taxed more, and Trump cut taxes for the ultra-wealthy. That's what they always do.
Welcome news, shocking news. But how exactly did she pull this off? How is she going to save New Yorkers $1,500? Well, let's find out.
During this process, from day one, I have made affordability for New York families a top priority. I always have, and I always will, fight to put more money in the pockets of everyday New Yorkers. That's why back in June, I stood up on behalf of hardworking families and simply said no. No to a new $15 congestion toll that at that particular time was just too much. Too many people are worrying about high costs, groceries, rent, childcare. These are...
Wait. Is Matt Walsh... So Matt Walsh started this video with a rant about how women can't do math because they see a discount and think that the money they saved is profit, which is not a thing, but he claims it's a woman thing, and then shows a clip of the female governor of New York talking about cutting a toll for New Yorkers that was costing them money, talks about how that they are going to end up saving $1,500 a year or a month or whatever on average because of that. And Matt Walsh is like, well, that's not really saving money because it's the same as a discount. She blocked the toll from getting raised, and she is talking about it. So I'm guessing what this was he needed to make a video attacking Kathy Hochul, but he couldn't find a way to do so in any real effective way, and so they just like threw together a story. Girl math. I earn 50K. My boyfriend earns 90K. I earn 140K. This is literally just incel. This is just an incel comment section. I'm so glad I'm not like women who do girl math. From Rosie Finley. Dude, she's not like the other girls. Nice. I'm an everyday New Yorker, and we're tired of hearing this shit. She actually got up and told people how she saved them money by charging less than she was going to. The mafia is this bad. No, she literally just said she blocked the toll price from getting raised. Does she think that, like, the governor is the one, like, is, like, taxing, like, the governor is, like, charging, New Yorkers for, like, what is this logic? Homath has covered this extensively. That's an incel channel, if you guys don't know Homath. The more you spend, the more you save. An actual Macy's ad. I don't think she's using girl math here, but regardless, I like the female commenter saying, I don't think she's using girl math here, but regardless, charging someone to drive on a road you already tax them to maintain, in a car you... Oh, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Do they know? Do they know what tolls are? Tolls are the tax for the road. That is what they are. That is what tolls are, is a tax for the road. I'm going to punch a wall. I'm gonna lose it, dude. I'm gonna geek. She spewed this nonsense with a straight face. It is really unbelievable. So let me get this right. A working person who has to drive to work has to pay between $2,700 and $3,200 a year? I would be like, welfare looks mighty good right now. A $9 toll on roads we're already overtaxed to build and maintain is grotesque. I can't wait for these people to celebrate the infrastructure funding bill that Biden passed in 2 years when it hits and starts rebuilding our literally crumbling infrastructure, and they start giving the credit to Trump, even though that was a Biden bill. Apparently, we're overtaxed to support the roads, even though the taxes for our roads primarily come from, like, if it's a given road, a toll. That's how you pay for, like, maintaining a section of highway. For example, going from, like north of Tampa down to Tampa, you can take the highway, and it's like 4 or 5 different tolls, because each segment of highway needs to be paid for to maintain. Especially when taxes are as low as they are in Florida, they need to have toll forms of taxes, yeah. I genuinely hate that Trump will get credit from ignorant dumbasses. That's the thing. That's the thing. At the end of the day, as long as they keep their base ignorant enough, they'll never know who to blame for what they're going to go through. The same as what they did for the last 4 years. The question is, can they brainwash their base so well and so hard that through 4 years of a Republican trifecta, they can blame the Dems who have no power for everything that ends up harming the American people's way of life? We'll have to watch and see. We'll have to watch and see. Matt Walsh is truly an evil, dishonest, and deceptive piece of shit. And I really do hope that, maybe a few Matt Walsh fans see this video and end up changing their minds. Hey, if you're a Matt Walsh fan, you want to leave a hate comment, consider leaving the comment, whatever comment you leave, include the word eggplant in it down below in the comment section, so I know you watched this far in the video, because if you leave a hate comment but you at least heard all my arguments, I can respect it. If you just leave a hate comment and you don't include eggplant, I know you didn't even bother watching the whole video, so then I'll just disregard your criticism. But if you include it and you still disagree with me, then at least I know you're in good faith. Or at least you're attempting to be. And that's actually pretty respectable. So maybe some Matt Walsh fans will see this. Comment down below if you're one of them, especially if you had your mind changed by this video. I'd love to see, somebody who's an ex-Matt Walsh fan in my community. That'd be crazy. Regardless, though, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider leaving a like, whether you're watching live or when this goes up after the fact as its own video. Every single thumbs up is like casting a blue ballot for YouTube to push my content further in the algorithm to far more new and old viewers alike, and it happens in real time. So thank you to everybody who goes out of their way to do that. And of course, if you want to support me even more, you can subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications. You can comment as well, and you can follow my social medias, all linked down below in the description, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, including my Blue Sky account, Xander Hall on Blue Sky, by the way, go check me out, and consider joining my fan Discord. It's totally free to join. It's the main hub of my community and fan base, and on top of that, I host gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, and all sorts of other neat, just community-centered kind of events in my Discord, and I do it at least once a week, every Friday, so I hope to see you guys there. I also announce all my new uploads and streams there, so if even if YouTube fucks up, at least you'll know that my Discord will not end up bugging out and not telling you when I go live or upload. Regardless, though, finally, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, consider donating, subscribing, gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.